Mark Phelps, supertraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. We got some squats and some deadlifts going on this day. This is Big Marcus here. Marcus is making some huge strides in his training. He recently missed a 690 squat, and I think that's what he ends up going to in this training session, or at least 680 or so. Actually, now I recall the number. I think it was around 683 that he made in this training session. So he's making a lot of improvements. He missed the weight about 2 weeks ago, and then he nails it in this training session, as you're going to see coming up. Here's Chris Ramos doing some reverse band deadlifts. The reverse band is to allow you to overload and to handle a little bit more weight at the top. Here is my chubby little self going with a squat. I've been working hard on trying to get my positioning better, just kind of throughout everything, trying to change a little bit of everything, but trying to find the sweet spot. And I get the bar placement a little bit better on this particular day. The bar doesn't roll on me. My hand placement was a little bit better on this day, a little less discomfort through the upper body. I've been doing some bench pressing before the squat, and that's actually kind of helped open things up a little bit. I feel like I cut this one a little higher than where I've been taking my other squats to in training. Not a bad squat. That's a PR raw squat for me. That's a 665 squat. Next time I hit that squat up, I'll go for 675, and I'll just try to squat it a little bit deeper. So rather than trying to put like 690 on there or 700, I'll just try to add 10 pounds and do the lift a little bit more properly. That's Detroit hitting up some deadlifts because he got about 4 plates on there. See how he's rounding over a little bit through the low back. Not tremendously though. Doesn't look like it's affecting him too much on those lifts. He could perhaps keep his head down just a little bit more, and that might help. There's Chris with a good strong pull. Looks like he got about 7 plates on there. Here's Silent Mike. Silent Mike's, you see some of the guys are lifting with some straps. Mike was doing some other types of deadlifts before this, I believe, but now it looks like they've kind of moved into a block pull, which is kind of common at super training. Sometimes guys will pull off the floor and then they'll pull off blocks. There's Austin Baumgarten doing some deadlifting. And this is a new chick we got in the gym here, a sprinter. She, I believe, is a former sprinter from Sac State. At one point she was ranked around 14th in the country. Anyway, she's a hell of an athlete, and it's great having her in Super Training Gym. Here she is doing some box squats, and you can see kind of how unfamiliar she is with this exercise. Not to really bash some of the coaching that goes on too much, but you know, her weight training routine doesn't consist of the things that you think it would. Sprinting is a very powerful and explosive sport, and you would think that her coaches would have her squatting more often and doing cleans and snatches and those types of things. But that's not the case. So we got her inside super training, and now we're going to start to change some things on her, and I think it's going to have a huge impact. Here goes Marcus. I think this is around I think that's around 650 or 640. He really smoked that. He's building his confidence. I think Chris is going for around 700 here, and if I remember correctly, he goes for like a triple. And keep in mind, he's got straps on. He's got the deadlift bar. And he also has pound plates, and those pound plates get way out on the side, and it makes the barbell bend more so than the kilo plates. The kilo plates stay in much tighter. They still stay in much closer. So those are all things to consider when you're doing your diligence here in the gym, and you're trying to figure out where your maxes are. It's important to be realistic with those numbers, and to, you know, sometimes if you're using straps, I mean, you can't take a strap deadlift in powerlifting. You can't take that sucker to the bank because you're not going to be able to cash it in for anything. It's not going to be worth nothing by the time you get to the meet. That's not to say that straps are useless. It's just to say that you need to be realistic with the types of weights that you're moving and how you're moving them. You know, if you do some crazy form of a hitch deadlift in a training session, that's fine, and you can count it. And you can say, you know what, I did 700. It was the craziest deadlift ever. But I did it. I did 700-pound deadlift, and you can brag to yourself and your buddies, and you can go on social media and tell the world about your 700-pound deadlift. But again, that's not going to be something you're going to be able to cash in at a powerlifting meet and add to your total. Here's Austin with a good squat here. Form gets a little crazy, but great job on committing to the lift and hitting depth. I believe that's around a 415 squat, which is a big improvement for him. And that's what this stuff's all about. It's not about where you start. It's going to be about where you finish. And it's going to be about improvement. And that's what we're after here at Super Training Gym all the time. So here goes Marcus now with 680 pounds, 682 pounds. Very good job on that descent right there. And plows through it fairly easy. Just a matter of him getting a little bit more confidence, and he'll be able to squat 700 pounds very soon. Strength is never a weakness, and that is it from SuperTraining.tv.